And so we prepare our time of meditation, the time to go deep within, by putting aside anything that we may be holding in our hands that may be distracting, adjusting our position in our seat if we need to, and becoming consciously aware of everything around us, even with our eyes closed. The purpose of this is so that if, while we're on our journey into that still place, we become distracted, we don't push the distraction away, whether it's a sound, a sensation, a thought. We notice everything that we are experiencing, label it, and then use the breath as our anchor to bring us back to the present moment. So we begin by noticing the sounds around us now. Noticing the temperature of the air as it touches our skin. What emotions or feelings are circulating through our being and what they feel like. Where are they lodged in our body? Notice the thoughts, where your mind is meandering. And don't make it wrong, just notice and bring the attention back to the breath. And as we keep returning to the breath, we deepen the breath. And as we deepen the breath, we relax. Relax and let go. Surrender. And become submerged in the silence, where there is peace, where there is comfort, where there is wisdom. And on this day of Pentecost, where we connect viscerally with the power of the Holy Spirit, speak into our hearts and minds in a clear, unmistakable language of the heart. So let's breathe our way to stillness now. Going deeper and deeper into that cavity of nothingness. Allowing the currents of bliss and joy to draw us down into the stillness. Responsive, ready, open, we wait, we listen in the stillness of the silence. We wait. And now we go deeper, resting in that place of peace beyond our imagination, where we experience our kindred oneness with one another, communicating with the language of the heart, inspired by the mark of Holy Spirit resting upon us now, where we are in consciousness of one accord, one mind, one heart, one intention for peace. In the stillness of the silence, we listen to the language of the heart. In the stillness of the silence, we listen and wait. And now we gently bring our attention back to this time and place. Bring in with us that power of Holy Spirit that is alive in our soul, so that as we speak, as we think, as we move through the rest of the day, the weekend, and the week, we audibly express the language of healing, peace-inspiring love and harmony. And so we bring that energy with us now as we draw our attention back to the sounds around us, resting again on the temperature of the air as it touches our skin, the feelings and sensations in our body, the open expansiveness in our heart, the stillness at our core. And then we take a deep breath, take it all the way in, hold it, squeeze everything tight, and release the breath. Take in another deep breath, pause, squeeze everything tight, 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 so the energy moves up, and then release. And one more deep cleansing breath, hold it, squeeze, and release. Bringing our attention up behind the back of our eyes. And if you choose, you can vigorously rub your hands together and place your warm hands over your eyes to adjust to the light. And I affirm on your behalf, knowing this truth with you, that the mark of the Holy Spirit is upon us, inspiring us to speak and live the language of love. And so it is. Namaste.
Wow. Millie, you're a tough act to follow. Thank you. And Todd, Steve, and Michael, thank you as well. Today is Memorial Day. It's a day we can look back and remember, look back and thank and bless those who've served us. So what I'd like to do is ask all of my fellow veterans and all first responders, both present and past, to please stand. Join me in standing. It is a good time to look back, but it's also a good time to look forward. So I ask you, do you dream? I don't mean daydream. I don't mean REM sleep dream. I don't mean fantasies. I mean the kind of dream that changes your life, the kind of dream that changes the world around you. With that in mind, do you dream of the past? Do you think you can change it? No way. When you dream of the future, you know you can change the future, right? How big do you dream? When you ponder your dreams, please recall the words of Psalms 1:3. He is like a tree planted by streams of water, which gives its fruit in season and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers. Your dream is like that tree. Your prayers are like the waters that nourish it. So as we say in unity, thoughts held in mind reproduce after their kind, and that makes them a prayer. So, nourish your dreams, feed them, pray about them, and your dreams will become manifest. Look around you. This is Unity Village Chapel. It sits in the middle of the grounds of Unity Village. This is the manifestation of a dream that Myrtle Fillmore had back in the 20s, the 10s and the 20s, of a quiet place, a cool place where she and her family could escape in the summer, so that this became Unity Farm. It's a big dream. There's 1,600 acres here and probably 1,800 deer. So for a moment, please look back. When you were young, like this morning, what was your dream? Was your dream to be a doctor, a minister, an accountant, a fireman, a policeman? Those are dreams that kids seem to dream about. And then adults dream about being an accountant or an actuary. So how about being a mom or a dad? A pilot? How about an astronaut? How did you see yourself? And what happened to that dream? Did you succeed? Did you succeed and now are reaching for your next dream? Are you now shaping that next dream? Or on your original dream, did you give up? Did you let it fade away? Or did you tell yourself it wasn't there? At my 40th high school reunion, one of my classmates, a young lady whose maiden name was Kathy Tucker, said that all she thought she could be when she graduated from high school and went off to college was a nurse or a teacher. I shook my head and said, I never saw you restricted to that. She dreamed. Now we call her Judge Kathy. So, C.S. Lewis said, you're never too old to set a new goal for yourself. At 62, I decided to come to the seminary. I'll be just past 65 when I graduate, and I'm just getting a fresh start. As a kid, my dream was to go to college. I was the first kid from my neighborhood to go to college, the very first. When I got there, I convinced myself I couldn't do it. So I dropped out. I enlisted in the Marine Corps, which was a wise thing. Got to Parris Island, and those guys would not take no for an answer. Nothing was impossible. Nothing. So I learned to do things that I never thought I would be able to. And by the way, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was stationed down Colburn, down Bannister, about 4 miles. So this is a return trip for me. I never killed that dream of college, though. In 1969, I got out. I went back to college, maybe a little bit older, definitely a little bit older, a little bit wiser, maybe a little bit braver, no longer afraid to try. In 1971, I was granted a bachelor's degree in mathematics. In 1973, a master's in statistics. Now I'm living a new version of that, and I hope that in 2013, I know that in 2013, I will be granted a master's of divinity and ordained. When we dream, nothing is impossible. So I ask you, do you dream big? Dreams are free. All of them. It costs no more to dream big than it does to dream small. So why would anyone dream small? Maybe we talk ourselves out of that big dream. When your childhood faded, dream faded, if it did, was it because someone made a careless remark like, you're not smart enough, we don't have enough money for college, you're not pretty enough, you'll never learn to play the piano like that. How about you're not tall enough? Let's look at that last one for a moment. Michael, can we have Muggsy Bogues? The average height of an NBA basketball player is 6'7". Very few people thought that Spud Webb could play. He was 5'7". He won the slam dunk contest, beating a guy named Dominique Wilkins, who was the human highlight machine and could do things that real people can't do. Well, could you do it at 5'3"? That's how tall Muggsy Bogues is. His teammate there is a guy named Manute Bol, who's a great humanitarian, who was 7'7". That's kind of the long and the short of it. So if you're 5'3" and can play professional basketball, why would anybody accept you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough? We can do anything we dream about. So remember, it costs no more to dream big than it does to dream small. Don't dream small. I have a dream. In the summer before my senior year in high school, Reverend King gave his memorable I Have a Dream speech on the mall in Washington, D.C. to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. He dreamed big. He definitely dreamed big. He dreamed of a day when his people could celebrate their birthright, that one that so many of us have taken for granted, the one from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That pursuit of happiness is what I'm talking about when I say dream. Let me tell you about another dream that blossomed. In 1981, a very, very successful businessman named Eugene Lang went back to his grammar school in Harlem, PS 121, to talk to a group of graduating sixth graders. There were 61 of them. On his way to the podium, the principal told him, 75% of these kids will drop out, will never graduate from high school. So he was on his way up there to tell them, work hard like I did, you'll be successful like I was. He changed his speech. He got to the podium, he looked at those kids and said, if you graduate from high school, I'll pay your way to college. I had 2. 61 would have frightened me to death. Out of that came the I Have a Dream Foundation. By the way, 4 years later, all of those kids were still in school, every single one of them. 54 of those 61 stayed in touch with the foundation. 90% of them graduated from high school or got their GED versus 25%. Over half went to college. Many of those graduated from college, and some really nice colleges in New York State, in that area there. So we all have dreams. This man, Eugene Lang, in a moment of inspiration, affected the lives of one group of sixth graders. His program has since affected the lives of 15,000 students. I think Dr. King would have been proud. One man in his audience that day in D.C. affected the lives of 15,000 students by giving them a dream. In 2008, Reverend Marshall Blaylock at the First Baptist Church in Charleston, Donna's home church, made the statement that hope is the life-changing promise of a better future, of a better tomorrow. Now, that's what I call a big dream. It's life-changing. It's better. Hope is the life within a dream. That's the faculty, the one of our 12 powers that gives dreams the energy to go forward. And it is a promise for a better tomorrow, and that's a big dream. In Unity, we do talk about our 12 powers. One of those 12 is imagination. Charles Fillmore said, "It will be found that every form and substance originated in the imagination. It is through the imagination that the formless takes form." So, imagination is the power we use when we dream, when we hope, when we can see that promise of a better tomorrow. Another of the 12 powers is faith. We know we have a dream when we use our faith so that we can co-create that dream with God. The third unity principle tells us that we must take action. We can't just believe it, we have to live it. So I think we should take action like Eugene Lang took in 1981. Taking action takes faith. That's the faith that the writer of Matthew meant when he said, Jesus said, "If you believe, you will receive what you ask for in prayer." The faith to take action, I believe that is the faith that Jesus was talking about. Imagination and faith shape our vision. It gives us hope. And we really know we have a dream when we're willing to take the action, to take that step, to make it happen. We know we have a dream when we take that step, and then we have the strength to follow it through to the end. And with a sprinkle of our power of zeal, it can be fun and rewarding at the same time while we make the changes in our life. Norman Vincent Peale tells us that when we have a laser-sharp image of our vision, it becomes so crystal clear, and he calls it imaging. That's what I mean when I say dreaming. It's not a fantasy. It's something you can see. It's something so crystal clear you can almost touch it. I've heard that Michelangelo saw David in a big, ugly, flawed piece of stone. And he carved that stone to set David free. Have any of you seen Michelangelo's David? Most of us have seen pictures of him. He also did the Sistine Chapel, a completely different art medium. Michelangelo dreamed big. He dreamed big. I've said it in a lot of different ways using different words. The message is still the same. Dream, hope, pray, image. I ask you again, do you dream big? Do you? Please know that if we image it, if we have faith, if we act on it and have the strength to take the step to go forward, we can co-create it. We can make our dream come true. We can make our big dream come true. Dr. King's dream was huge. It was bigger than he was. When he died, he stopped dreaming. His dreams did not stop. Death did not stop that dream. Change does come slowly, but it comes. I think Dr. King would be delighted to be able to go into the polling booth in November and be able to, of next year, and be able to select an African American, a man of color, as the President of the United States. I think he would be absolutely pleased that some of his dreams had taken shape. In 1984, I became a consultant with the accountancy and consultancy firm Ernst & Winnie. I was 36. I had been told I was too old. It was a partnership. Becoming a partner in a firm like that is very difficult. I imaged that I was going to be a partner. 2 years later, I not only was in the firm, I was a partner. Now I see myself in the gown and that red stole that says that you've been ordained. And once that happens, my dream is to be a chaplain at a VA hospital or another hospital. I've been told that I won't be able to work as a chaplain at the VA hospital because our master's program here is not yet accredited. We'll see. I've had other dreams, other glimpses of what the future might look like. I see the possibility of starting a church in Galway in Western Ireland, of maybe using my management skills to help churches that have gone through a rough spot, maybe teaching. But I know that I don't have to live each dream for it to come true. If I dream big, it goes into the collective unconscious. When it goes into the collective unconscious, maybe some young man, some young woman will pick up my dream or yours, and we can see them come true even though we weren't able to or didn't do it ourselves. That's what happened with Eugene Lang. Dr. King didn't dream that explicitly, but Eugene Lang saw that promise and made that dream come true in a completely different fashion than Dr. King could ever have imagined. So your dream can be big without encompassing social or cultural change. Your dream can be big if it focuses solely on you being the brightest Christ light you can be. So as we finish, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Image the reality of your dream. And ponder with me the words of one of my favorite songs by the group Here to Hear. Your dreams brought you here. Where will they take you tomorrow? You believed in spite of fear. You stayed strong, had faith, and followed. Now, nothing can hold you back. Now, it's up to you and only you to choose. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Who are you going to be? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? Your dreams brought you here. Where will they take you tomorrow? Now it's up to you, only you, to choose. You choose. Namaste.